Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Rise of the Empire wrap-up, where we at the 13th Fleet are discussing what's going on with our Rise of the Empire campaign. For those of you who haven't been watching this, it is our adaptation of the Rebellion in the Rim campaign that reflects the time period where the Empire was pretty much establishing itself and taking out the last bits of separatist resistance. So we are now on the second round, aren't we?
Second act.
Second
yeah,
act.
Two.
Okay. Yeah.
So we've done the pivotal for the first one.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because all of the well, I shouldn't say all of the, but the first act was really pretty well controlled by the separatists, and yet in the pivotal battle the Imperial forces won out, and so now we're trying to see how that leaves the balance of power here moving forward.
Yeah. So you guys were down a lot of points, campaign points, going into the pivotal, and you guys picked the projection of force, I want to think it's called, and you guys won.
There were a lot of points to be had there.
It was like a 40-point win. It was so close. Anyways, but because you did projection of force, it attacks two separate planets at the same time, essentially, and we had presence on both, which is why you want to kind of do that. So you guys won. Remove the presence off Smuggler's Run and Ryloth, which in our campaign, those planets are connected by hyperlanes, trade routes, basically, which are really important. And so not only that did you get the campaign points for winning the pivotal, but you also get campaign points equal to what the planets are worth. And Ryloth is worth +2, and Smuggler 1 is worth +1. So you guys jumped ahead like 5 points.
Yeah, it was big.
Which was huge. So it evened back out the campaign, essentially. And then going into the first round, we were down, so we had initiative. And so we got to pick the 2 attacks. And you guys got to pick the 1 defense this time. And our first attack was an assault on Geonosis.
Yeah, that was where you were flying, correct?
Yeah, so my fleet is I have the 2 hard cells and Munificent. And so my Munificent now has thermals.
Yeah, and it looks like you've made the hard cells pretty rough with those reinforced blast doors.
Yes, and so another thing in our campaign is if you end a battle with damage on a ship, your opponent gets points equal to the hull of the ship per card. So a hard cell has 5
which is going to be important
hull.
Later on.
Yeah, so a hard cell is 5 hull. So if you have 4 cards on it, 4 times 5, you get 20 points just for shooting at the hard cell. And this is really damaging towards large ships. So we did it to incentivize players to fight, especially if you're fighting a large ship, which can be hard to destroy, but you can still get a lot of points by putting damage on it. So I was going to Geonosis. And then this place has... Well, I'll do what we want to do. I want to talk about all those and then talk about
I'm going to go ahead and let people know that Joel was the one that came in to defend that.
Yes.
And his fleet is pretty big. I mean, as far as, 4 ships in a campaign fleet is pretty large.
Yeah, and he added a Lambda with strategic. Which is important.
Yeah. He's got projection experts on one of the Architans, DTTs on the other one, X-Rax and ordnance experts on the Gladiator, which makes that thing pretty brutal in combat, although it's a bit of a glass cannon.
Yeah, and Joel and I both have Master Gunner 1 and Ion Technician. And so both of us were throwing out so much damage.
Yeah, Ion Techs is so good, and I didn't realize it until we got into my match how potent it is, but we'll get to that when we come around.
Yeah. So we attacked Geonosis, and then the Empire sent you to Ring of Kefrene.
But let's go ahead and say what's going on as far as what happened in your battle there.
Oh yeah, sure. So I went to Geonosis because of the Ion Cannon, and I'm sure Joel was hoping for the title because he wants Demolisher on his Gladiator. However, to get the title, you need to play a green objective, and I got to pick the objectives, so I'm definitely not picking Prototype Recovery.
Let's be clear on one point as far as the green objectives are concerned, and why your group will never pick a green objective. In this setup of the campaign, we're dealing with separatists at the end of the Clone Wars, which means that all of their leaders are gone. There is no reason for you to ever take a green object. Well, I take that back. You could go for a title.
Yes, and that's going to come into play because we have a Recusant and a Maleficent and a Providence. And all three of those have very good titles we want.
Yeah.
But at Geonosis, I'm not going to let Joel get Demolisher as long as I can because it's super dangerous for us. Because it takes his fleet and turns it into an absolute monster. It won't have I'm not going to be able to prevent it forever because eventually he'll get to be first player and attack a planet and pick it. But so we played his hyperspace assault, and he set aside his Gladiator, of course, because that's the one you want to hyperspace in. And then was able to get great use out of his Lambda to try and move an objective token. I think he got that done. I tried to prevent it as long as I could with my Vultures. But anyways, we deployed, and I still have low fuel, so I have to deploy on the edge of the map, is what he picked for me to do, instead of start at speed 1, which is the right move. It really slows me down. And so we line everything up. He hyperspaces in the Gladiator. The Munificent and the Gladiator trade blows. Both of us are in critical condition. I managed to move in just a way that I don't ram and kill my Munificent, and it lives a whole other round, which is huge. My Munificent living an extra round is massive for me. However, so I do kill his Gladiator because I have 2 heart cells and I'm still able to shoot at with a Munificent. But I am not able to finish it off, or finish off Architans. I hammered them, but they are speed 3, and we're able to jump over. And if my Munificent at this point is dead, because it eventually does die, which is exciting for Joel because he finally has a veteran Architans. Because I have 2 veteran heart cells, and it's really good having a veteran token because you get the free command token.
Yeah, I finally have a veteran token.
Yeah, it's huge. So he got that. I'm excited for him. But anyways, I killed his Lambda and his Gladiator, and he killed my Munificent. And so at the end, and I had 1 damage card left on one of his Architans because he managed to heal a couple at the end. And so that left us in a 3-point MOV in his victory. So he won Geonosis by 3 points, which was pretty nuts. Super close. But strategically, I got PDICs, and I prevented him from getting Demolisher. So I feel pretty good about that. But they do control Geonosis now.
Yeah. So then in the next battle, it was the Imperial attack, and my attack was on the Ring of Kefrine, and Ruben came out to defend. This was a brutal, brutal fight. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely brutal. One of my biggest issues is that I continually forget about how damage cards affect the point spread. And so I'm tending to play like I was playing in a tournament environment and just trying to, okay, these are the points that I can get. I'm not worrying about this. And so I did not really pay much attention to his Recusant. One thing that I will say, we were playing, what was the station objective? Is it
Contested Outpost?
Contested Outpost, yeah. And so I knew I had to get there quick to start banking points, and I did that. I pretty much had my Venator sitting on the station for 3 rounds, and my biggest issue was that the hard cells were harder to kill than I thought they were going to be. I had really a really good double arc on one of his hard cells and didn't do much to it in that first round. Or it was the second round when I actually was starting to engage, and it should have been more effective, but there it was. So then after that, I was able to actually take out the second hard cell as well, but in the process, he dished out 7 damage cards to my Venator. And I didn't have any repair lined up because I wasn't thinking about those points. I was able to get it out of combat. He killed my Architans, and then just at the end of it, he burned every kind of re-roll that he could and used those ion techs and managed to get the 2 accuracies that he needed to take out my my Gozer. And
yeah. Ion Tech, and then he vet gunnered and got a natural red accuracy and a red double.
Yeah, and he needed it all to be able to finish that out, because if he hadn't done that, then the game would have been a tie. But he ends up winning by 3 points.
Yeah, also 3 points.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean that rule with on damage on the ships has been really big about keeping these battles close.
Yeah, it really incentivizes repairing and escaping, because that gave 63 points off your Venator, which I think is pretty good. Like, you didn't lose a ship. It was like too close to death, 2 holes close.
Yeah.
And it was worth about half of what the ship's worth, which is pretty good, balance wise. But that's worth like 1 hard cell. But yeah, super close battle. Really good battle too. I like to watch a lot of it.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I was just continually amazed at how good ion techs are. Because, I mean, I was actually looking between ion techs and ordnance experts for command abilities, and what finally has me convinced that ion techs are better is because you're not concerned about range. You can do that from long range.
Right.
And it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I know you got more damage potential out of the ordnance dice, but man.
Yeah. And if people don't know, ion techs is you get to add a blue to your attack pool and then remove a die. For it. Mm-hmm. So it's basically like DTTs, but with blues. But it becomes really powerful when you combine it with a Confire.
Yeah.
And so ships like mine, like a hard cell, all of a sudden can roll 2 blues and a red instead, right? Instead of just the 3 reds like usual, because I cancel out a couple reds.
And see, Ordnance Experts does the same thing, but you have to be at close range to be able to use it.
Right, because it affects black dice.
Yeah.
So, super close battle. But you got what you wanted out of it.
Yes.
Which is your ordnance slot for sure.
Yeah.
So that Venator's be even more powerful.
Yeah. Well, we've been running into an issue where we haven't been able to match your guns. You guys have had some really, really good long range fire, particularly. I mean, most of our stuff is built up to where we've got to get in close.
Right.
So
the last battle.
You know what? I never even laid out the fleets that we were flying there. Prior to going into this one, I had actually added Ordnance Experts so that I could have some additional rerolls there. And I also, before the pivotal battle, I had added Captain Jonas to the mix because I thought I could really, really use the
accuracy.
Yeah, the accuracy in there. Now, I do not have an update on what exactly Ruben has added since I had this graphic put together here.
I can look at that, I think.
I do know that as far as skills are concerned, he added ion text because that he used that quite a bit on me.
Yeah.
And the requisite's showing H9s. He's got DTTs on the hard cell battle refit, CommsNet on the hard cell, and I do know that he still only had the 2 vulture droids.
I'm trying to look through our team message, see if I can remember. I can't recall. It must not have been too big.
It probably wasn't all that terribly big. I think somewhere actually he picked up, what is it, to cancel out defensive tech. Slicer tools, is that? No, it's an officer, I think.
Intel officer?
No, Intel officer, yeah. That's what you had.
Maybe he added that. I don't see
Yeah,
his fleet
I
posted here.
think so. Anyway, but that's what was being flown there. Then we finish up with a battle that unfortunately most of us didn't get to see because they had to do it on their own at a different time. We had Nick flying his ISD fleet, and I don't have that updated because I don't remember exactly what he added to it prior to this, but he is a very squad-based fleet, which we thought would do really well against Jeff's fleet, but prior to going into this, Jeff dropped the 2 vultures so that he could add 2 more tri-fighters. So now he's got 4 tri-fighters, and that can do a lot to slow down that bombing run.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and apparently he took out like 3 fighters in 1 activation with his tri-fighters. Because they roll 4 dice and then a swarm when they're activated with AI. And Providence has got double black flak. Magnificent's got red flak with LTTs. So yeah, Jeff, he demolished Nick's Imperial fleet, which is wild. Jeff is currently like the only undefeated solo player because we lost the pivotal together, but that was not Jeff's fault.
Yeah, that fleet is just brutal. I mean,
yeah, Providence, Thermals, Mooney, LTTs, 4 tri-fighters, and now he has PCs, probably, right? Because he could choose Ordnance or Ion or a base one, but putting PDICs on the Providence basically makes it invincible.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's ow. I don't want to. I've had to fly against it personally twice, but my fleet went up against it 3 times, and yeah, I don't want to fly against it.
On the bright side, I think he's reached like the ceiling of points. Like he's maxed out.
Well, no, because he had to drop the vultures in order to have room for the and so now he's got a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, not a lot though.
No,
he is at the probably like maybe 1 more upgrade away.
So,
but yeah, that was a CIS victory.
Yeah, so it was. Now the Imperials will be back on the offensive heading into the next round.
I think you guys are still ahead on campaign points.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
We did gain an awful lot on that last round. So
yeah, you got 5 points for the pivotal.
Yeah,
and I think you get a point per. So we got 2 points here. I don't think that.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking. I had it in my head that because you guys won the last round on points, that we would move into the next round being on the initiative. But I guess it is actually overall points that determines it.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. Anyways, this week, round 2. Hopefully, we'll discuss planets today.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll get around to it in our discussion forum. But if you guys have any questions about what's going on as far as the campaign's concerned, feel free to follow the link that's in the description for the Discord. We are talking about it on a fairly regular basis there. There are also, on the 13th Fleet Discord, a lot of interesting conversations that you can join in, a lot of fleet ideas that have been thrown around. So I hope you guys will join us, and we will have the next battle up on Thursday. I should have the YouTube replay for this last week's battle up probably sometime early this week. So thank you, Garrett, for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. I'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one.